Hello. So today I'm going to cover a quick video on the brachial plexus. It's a pretty complicated structure and can be hard to understand what you're looking at when you're looking at a cadaver, but hopefully this video will help to simplify the relationship. Obviously, cadavers, there's tons of variability, so this isn't always 100%, but for the most part, this is what you're going to see when you look at a cadaver. So we have a couple acronyms up here. It's going to be reach to drink cold beer. And continuing with this alcoholic theme, you can see that we have most alcoholics must really urinate. So what do these two acronyms stand for? What are these going to represent? So reach to drink cold beer is going to be our roots, trunks, divisions, chords, and branches of the brachial plexus. Most alcoholics must really urinate. Musculocutaneous, axillary, median, radial, and ulnar nerve. These are the nerves that are going to innervate every muscle from your humerus down, going to your fingertips. So let's get started on drawing this. So your roots, how these guys are going to come together. You're going to have a root from C5 and C6 coming together. C7 is a standalone. C8 and T1 come together. So just like the roots of a tree, everything's growing out towards the trunk of the tree. So here we'll have the different trunks, and these are named. You're going to have your appropriately named superior, let's get use acronyms, superior trunk, middle trunk, and inferior trunk. So these trunks are going to separate, they're going to diverge in their direction. Hence we have the divisions here. So how do these guys diverge from each other? So you're going to have the superior trunk giving an anterior and posterior division. So let's just say this is our anterior, and then coming down, we'll give a directional arrow going down. This is our posterior division. The middle trunk is going to have, again, an anterior and posterior division. So the middle trunk is going to come here and connect. This is our posterior division. This is going to come up, and this is going to be our anterior division. So the way you'd name this is you'd say middle trunk, anterior division, if you were talking about specifically that portion of the nerve, or you'd say superior trunk, posterior division. That's how you'd identify what nerve you were talking about. And again, just like the other two, we have both a posterior and an anterior. So this is going to be our anterior division of the inferior trunk. This is going to be our posterior division. So you'll see that all the posteriors are coming to the centerpiece here, which gives us our name for the chords. And you also might be asking, well, posterior to what? Why is that posterior? Because this is two-dimensional. It's kind of arbitrary to say posterior or anterior, right? Because there's no relationship. But anatomy is just nothing but relationships. Anatomists love naming things for relationships to other things. So when you're looking at a cadaver, you're going to see a huge blood vessel running right in this area. And this is going to be your axillary artery. So that axillary artery is actually what gives the name for the posterior and anterior divisions. So now we have our chords. So what chord is this right here? Well, you're actually looking at the lateral chord. And you ever get confused, lateral chord is going to be coming off of 5 and 6. This is going to be appropriately named the posterior chord. And back here you're going to have your medial chord. So 3 chords. Well, these 3 chords are going to give off a bunch of branches, which we'll name. So going here, we have most alcoholics, the musculocutaneous. The posterior chord is going to branch twice. It's going to go to the alcoholics, which is our axillary. It is also going to go down to our really, which is radial. And then we have the medial cord, which is just going to branch to the urinate, which is our ulnar nerve. So what innervates the median? So both the lateral cord and medial cord come up and give innervation. So however you want to draw this that makes sense, in terms of this last part right here, just know that most alcoholics must really urinate, so you're going to end up with 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different nerves. Do a fork. That's how I think I learned it the first time. You can actually see if you do it this way. There's an E here, E, and then you just fill the space in between. That's one way to remember it. But if you remember this acronym, you'll be able to figure it out. And that's the brachial plexus simplified. My next video, I'm going to dive into a little more depth. There are more branches coming off this. It's not as simple. If you thought this was complicated, it's not as simple as just most alcoholics must really urinate. So the subsequent videos, I'm going to dive into additional structures that are coming off the brachial plexus.